With so many retro handhelds devices out there, why would I recommend a 3-year-old console to you guys? Well, let's find out. Oh, my name is Noel, by the way, and I review stuff sometimes. So, this right here is the Trimui Smart Pro, which came out in late 2023. Obviously, it isn't the newest retro handheld out there, but it's still one of the best bang for your buck pieces of tech that you can find out there. So in this video, I'll mainly touch on its basic tech specs, the user experience, and how I personally have been using this. Design-wise, it has a very familiar form factor. Looking at it from the front, some people might even mistaken it for a PSP or a PS Vita. The biggest detail is the 4.96-inch IPS display. It gets bright enough to play under the sun and just dim enough to play comfortably at night before you go to bed. Also, in the front, you'll find the D-pad, the face buttons, the analog sticks, and the menu, start, and select buttons. The buttons are tactile enough to tell if you have pressed them. But honestly, for me, they're not the most satisfying buttons to press. The analog sticks are smooth and accurate enough to play the games that I play on this. You can't click down on them, so there aren't any L3 or R3 functionality. They do have customizable color LEDs though. My only gripe though is that there aren't many games that I play that utilizes the right stick, unfortunately. But I'm sure there are a lot of people who find that useful, however. But even with that said, I can't really knock on them too much because they're still very comfortable and they are a whole lot better compared to the one on the PSP. As for the D-pad, tactility wise, it's close to the face buttons, but they are a bit mushy. And at the bottom, you'll find the two front-facing speakers. Not the worst speakers out there, but definitely nothing to write home about either. Anyway, moving on to the top of the Trimui Smart Pro, you'll find the stacked bumpers and triggers, the power button, the USB-C port for display output, and the volume buttons. Both the bumpers and triggers feel nice and tactile. They are easily identifiable and very easy to differentiate between them as well. The biggest upside for me is that I have never found myself accidentally pressing on them when I'm playing on this console. At the bottom of the device, you'll find the headphone jack, the microSD slot, the USB-C charging port, and also a function switch. You could program the FN switch to actually do a few things like turn the LEDs on and off. You could actually put it into its respective modes like quiet mode, the silent mode, the power saving mode, and also a performance mode. And you could actually turn on the turbo settings or the turbo functions for the face buttons as well. But for me personally, I haven't been able to tell any difference between any of the modes that I mentioned earlier, unfortunately. In regards to the microSD, this console supports cards of up to 256 gigs, but it still has 8 gigs of internal storage built in. With all that said, here are the tech specs. That all-winner processor is powerful enough to run most retro games, supposedly up to PSP. However, I haven't had any luck running any PSP games smoothly, even after fiddling with the settings. So don't expect too much out of this device. If you're simply planning to play PS1 or older games, this device is perfect for you. PS1 games run smoothly, and you can even expect to play some DS games as well. Though with the single screen and lack of a touchscreen, I can't say that you'll have the best experience out there. Otherwise, Game Boy, Game Boy Advance, NES, SNES, PS1 and everything in between runs smoothly on this. So in regards to the UI, this does run a Linux-based system. Out of the box, it does have its own operating system which does run decently. However, I do recommend you guys to install any custom firmwares that are available for this device if you do like to put your personal touches on your consoles. Personally, I have installed CrossMix OS on this device. It's pretty much customizable. There are a few limitations, but it's simple to navigate and it's very easy to install as well. But if you don't want the hassle of fiddling with the settings yourself, there are some sellers who do offer services to install CrossMix OS into this before they ship the device to you. But the prices will vary. And speaking of which, let's talk about the price of this thing, because it ranges between 250 and 350 ringgit. But it mostly depends on the size of the SD card that you buy with this. However, with that said, my personal recommendation is to get this without the SD card and go buy your own branded card from a trusted seller and install CrossMix OS yourselves. This is mainly because most of the time, those cards that the sellers ship to you that are filled with games already are very low quality and will corrupt easily. So just save yourself the time and headache in the future and just install the OS and the games yourself. Because like I said, it's not too difficult. There are a lot of guides online, and even the official guide by the CrossMix OS team is very easily understandable. And I'm sure most of you already understand that piracy is legal, so I suggest dumping the games that you already legally own into this device yourself as well. And if you don't own any games legally, well, you'll just have to figure that out for yourself, unfortunately. In terms of the battery, this has a 5000 mAh battery, and that is rated to last between 5 to 7 hours of playtime. But for me personally, I find the lower end of that estimation to be true. But it does depend on the games that you play as well. When it comes to charging, this doesn't support any type of fast charging at all. And my advice is don't try to plug any fast chargers into this device because it will degrade your battery life. Plus, now it doesn't even recognize the fast charger that I usually plug into this anymore. So you'll just have to bear with the longer charging speed, a 2 to 3 hour wait usually. Oh, and another piece of advice, if you do want your battery to last longer, especially when you are out and about, please don't play it while it's plugged into the charger because that will cause battery degradation as well. Anyway, before I talk about the games that I play, let's just talk about how comfortable it is to use. Generally speaking, it's very comfortable to play and hold even for longer periods of playtime. I initially expected it to feel a lot like the PSP, but because of its bigger size, the grip feels much more natural in my hands. Like I said, the PSP is just too small in my hands and feels cramped compared to this. While on the other hand, a Switch just feels a bit too wide for me, and its heftier weight has caused faster fatigue. But that's just my personal opinions, however. This Trimui Smart Pro offers a much better balance of size and weight in my hands. I personally like it because I can easily reach any of the buttons without needing to change my grip at all. One-handed use is obviously a no-go for a horizontal device, but the only thing that I can think of that might be able to improve the comfort is dedicated grips, because I have seen people online selling 3D printed grips for this as well. And if you do want a more substantial grip, I recommend you guys look into that. Otherwise, I personally have no qualms with this. So moving on to the games, let me just be honest with you guys. I haven't spent a lot of time playing a variety of games on this. I have played some like casual PS1 games or casual Game Boy games, casual GBA games just to pass the time. But the main games that I've played on this is firstly Pokemon, because up until I got another device for single-handed use, this is the best device to play Pokemon on. Not only because of how comfortable it is, but because of that beautiful screen as well. But I'm sure it's already obvious, it's already on screen. The other game that I have spent hundreds of hours playing is Stardew Valley. Yes, Stardew Valley 1.6. Because you can actually port the game into this device as well. But you do need to have already legally bought it on Steam and transfer some game files into the SD card. And I guess that's the main reason why I bought this thing. Because I miss playing Stardew Valley, but I didn't want to turn on my PC every time I wanted to play. And because I've long sold my Switch, I didn't have any way to play it on a handheld. And I know what you guys are thinking, there is a mobile port of the game, but the digital buttons just don't sit right with me, unfortunately. Anyway, Stardew Valley surprisingly runs very smoothly on this. There are a few hitches here and there, especially when you encounter mobs or when it's snowing in your farm and there's just a whole lot going on. It will stutter for a bit, but overall it has been a pretty smooth experience. Oh, and I guess I also forgot to mention that this also runs Moonlight, which is a software that allows you to stream your games from your PC. I've only tried it playing NBA 2K once, and honestly it was surprisingly good because I didn't see any type of lag or any type of latency. So yeah, kinda surprising at the end of the day. But take that with a grain of salt because that was just one game. With the lack of L3 and R3 on this device, I guess the limitations of playing PC games, even through streaming on this, is very obvious. And that's it for my personal experience with the Trimui Smart Pro. If you're looking for a retro handheld that's able to play PS1 or older games and maybe even port Stardew Valley or even stream through Moonlight, this is the perfect device to do so. But if you are looking for something to play PSP games on, this obviously isn't really the wise choice. But there is an upside though, because Trimui recently released the successor to this, the Trimui Smart Pro S. I unfortunately haven't had a chance to get my hands on that, but it seems like from the reviews that I've watched, it's mostly the same experience, just with a better cooler, the L3 and R3 sticks being on that device, and a much better processor that has been proven to run PSP games better compared to this one. But you still can't go wrong with this, the older Trimui Smart Pro, because it's still comfortable, it still offers a good screen, a good playing experience, and it has decent battery life and a very good user experience. All in all, you can't go wrong with the Trimui Smart Pro, especially if you want to dip your toes into the world of retro handhelds.